Hey guys, Jason over at Kaiser Willys. Today we're going to be changing the oil in my CJ2A. So this is the first time we're changing the oil. This has the original oil when I rebuilt the engine. So I'm going to show you guys kind of what I do to change oil. And then I'm going to also show you all the different things that we sell, as well as what's going to be required to do your oil change on your vehicle. So we're going to go ahead and get into that now. All right, here's what I've got. So we've got your tools wise. You're gonna need, this is an 1.1 socket. That's gonna be for the oil pan, the oil plug. So I've got that right here. We've got our oil. So we sell a Shell Rosella 15W40. So it's the heavy duty diesel engine oil. So that's what we've got here. We've got a gallon here. We sell that in a gallon. We sell it also in the quart. And then we're gonna be on our first oil change since we did it's a brand new engine. We're gonna be adding the Zinc Plus that we add into our engine oil. And then we've got our filter. So I have the military canister on mine. So I'm gonna be putting the military canister filter back in. I wanted to show you guys these. We have a crush washer for the oil plug. So we've got that, but we also have the fiber one as well. So I'm gonna be putting on the copper one, and then we've got the copper crush washer that goes into the top of the oil canister, that bolt there. So don't forget about that little guy when you do your oil change. And then I've got a pan. So basically we're gonna drain our oil in here and dump it and get rid of it. Also Folgers cans, or empty Folgers coffee cans. Those are really good when you pull the filter out. Put the used filter down into this, fits real nice in here, discard it, trash it, whatever. Just an easier container of the mess. So let's get into this. All right, so we're gonna take this drain plug off first, break it loose, and drain all the oil from the engine down below, and then we'll crack the oil canister open from up top and kind of get everything else to kind of gravity drain down the way. Yep.
That oil looks pretty clean.
Okay, so we'll let this drain out. We'll go up top and we'll go ahead and crack the oil canister open and get the filter changed. By that time, all the oil should be out, and then we can go back down, put a new plug down in there, and we'll start working from there. All right, we've got the oil plug cracked open down below. It's starting to drain everything out of the engine. So we'll go ahead and come up here and we'll break this loose up here. So we've got the bolt up here. This is the military canister. There are two different sizes for the filters. This is gonna be that larger one. So we've got this right here. What we'll do is we'll go ahead and get this undone and pull the old filter. This is where that old Folgers gas can comes into place. You can kind of stick it right here, and then when you go to pull the old one out, you can just put it down in here, and I'll trunk this in my trash can. So you've got the rubber gasket right here. This has a little, and you're gonna have the tube that goes down the center of it, so you don't want to go yanking it too hard because then it's just gonna sling oil everywhere. We'll pull the old filter out, go right into the Folgers can. We'll get that out of the way. All right, so we've got the lid popped. What you'll see is you've got the remaining little bit of oil in here, and it's gonna drain to a point because there's a pin-sized hole on this stem, and that's how the oil will actually get down into the timing cover. But with there being this much oil in here, we need to get it out so that we can put the new filter in. So what we've got is just a typical dollar store, turkey baster, and we'll go ahead and we'll squirt it down into the dipstick tube, because then it's gonna go into the pan down below. So we'll go ahead and get all the leftover oil out of the oil canister, and then we'll go ahead and put our filter in and get back to filling everything back up. All right, so we've got it all empty pretty much. So what we'll do is we'll go ahead and take our new filter. We've already lubricated the seals so that it slips down a little easier. And we'll go ahead and put this back in. You want to be careful going through that upper one because it'll pop that little rubber grommet back off if you go too hard in there without applying some even pressure. So now it's fully seated. It's back into the oil canister. Everything's draining out. It's all draining out down below. And then we'll go ahead and put a new copper crush washer on the plug, and we'll start filling everything back up. All right, so now we've got our oil all drained out. We've got our filter in, the cap is off right now. We've got a new copper crush washer on our oil plug. So we'll go ahead and get this back on, crush it down so that it crushes that copper crush washer. There's not so much, I guess, a torque value on this. You just want it to crush that copper crush washer and be tight enough so that it causes it to seal and nothing's gonna leak out. So we'll go ahead and get this tight, and then we'll start filling everything back up with oil. All right, so the first thing we'll do is we'll go ahead and fill up the engine. So we've got the gallon of our oil here that'll go in. So that's 4 quarts. It'll be about 5 quarts is what you're gonna do for the full vehicle. So what we'll do is we'll go ahead and put this whole gallon in, and then after that, we'll add a bottle of this, and then we'll fill up that canister with about a half a quart, give or take, so that we end up having that about in there. So this is our zinc additive. This will go in with the engine. We'll do this probably the first 2 to 3 oil changes. Because this is a brand new fresh engine and we just want to make sure that everything is running right. So I do highly recommend putting some break-in oil into the engine through the first few cycles. All right, so now that we've got the engine oil in, we'll go ahead and dump in our break-in oil. We're going to use the whole bottle here. Okay. Now we're going to take our quart and we're going to dump a little bit in here. You want to get it maybe about halfway full, just so that there's a little bit into the oil canister. And then while we're here and we're doing the oil anyway, we're going to go ahead and replace our oil bath oil just so we have everything new and fresh. We're here with a little bit of extra oil anyway, so it doesn't hurt to go ahead and address that oil bath. All right, so we've got that all in. We've got the engine oil is completely full. We're going to go ahead and put the top back onto this oil canister. So like I mentioned, there's going to be a copper crush washer going onto this bolt, and same thing with the engine plug. Basically, there's no torque value. You just want to see that copper crush washer crush. There is a rubber gasket for these. Paper gasket can be used as well. It doesn't really matter. This particular oil canister that we sell, the military one, it does come with a rubber gasket. We do sell rubber and paper for that one. For the civilian, every filter that you get for the civilian filter is going to come with a gasket as well. And that one will be paper. Okay, so this is now tightened down. This is all drained through. We've got the new plug in place, so we can go ahead and put our dipstick back in. Okay, so that's good and tight. So the next thing we'll do is we'll pop off that bottom cup and put a little oil down in that oil bath. Okay, so we've got our oil bath. We'll go ahead and dump that into that Folgers cup with the rest of our small oil components, and we'll fill it up to the line with new stuff. All right, so now we've got fresh, clean oil back into this oil bath. We're gonna go ahead and toss this guy back on here and clamp it down. All right, and there we have it. That's doing an oil change on pretty much any of the Willys that have this oil canister here. So I hope that helps. This is how I do my oil changes. This is what I use.
You can find all these products at kaiserwillys.com. And so there you go. Oil change on my CJ2A. See you guys on the next video.